Hi, my name is Joe Fuentes and welcome again. And in this short video, we're going to talk about another important topic. Let's talk about hypertension or high blood pressure. It is estimated that more than 70 million people in the United States suffer from high blood pressure. These numbers are alarming. That's why we need to talk about this. But what I'm going to do is tell you 6 things that you can do naturally to bring down your blood pressure without having to take medications. And at the end of the video, I'm going to make a statement. A little controversial, but very important. So wait till the end. Before I continue, if you guys have liked the information that I have shared or am sharing here on my YouTube channel and it has helped, share it with your family members and friends so they can also hear it. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll help me spread this information to more people. I think that way together we'll be able to defeat chronic illness. So let's begin. The first thing that you can do to bring down your blood pressure naturally is bring down your insulin levels in your blood, in your body. Insulin is elevated when we consume sugar and carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates. At any time your insulin is elevated, we're retaining sodium and it causes our blood pressure to go up. You can go to your medical provider, doctor, and you can have those levels checked. Get a fasting insulin level, and it should be around 2 to 5. That's ideal. I've seen some numbers as high as 80 in some patients, and when your insulin levels are that high, it's almost impossible to bring down your blood pressure. The other thing that's concerning is that elevated insulin levels also cause inflammation in your body, and inflammation also causes you to have high blood pressure. Which brings us to the second way that you can naturally bring down your blood pressure, and that's bringing down inflammation in your blood. And like I mentioned, sugar inflames, carbohydrates inflame, especially the processed carbohydrates, and also vegetable oils, oils such as corn oil, canola, soybean, sunflower. Those oils are very inflammatory, and we find in high abundance those oils and sugar in processed food. That's why we need to stop consuming so many processed foods. The other thing that I've seen in my career, and the best way of eating that brings down both insulin and inflammation, is the ketogenic diet. I'm sure that many of you guys have heard this way of eating, and it is the best way I've seen to bring down inflammation and insulin levels. And basically it's just eating good fats, animal proteins, vegetables, and very minimal carbohydrates. I have seen many patients come off medications, blood pressure medications, when they eat this way. And I'll make a video about the ketogenic diet and the specifics. So the third thing that you can do to bring down your blood pressure naturally is consuming foods that have magnesium, potassium, and calcium. And all those come from whole foods, just like I mentioned in the ketogenic way of eating. When you eat these whole foods, they're full of magnesium, potassium, and calcium. And magnesium actually allows our blood vessels to relax, so our blood pressure naturally comes down. So that's why it's important to also consume magnesium. The fourth thing that you could do to naturally bring down your blood pressure is reduce stress. And now I know acute stress is almost impossible. It happens, that's life. But we're talking about chronic stress, chronic daily stress. We need to bring it down, because when we're stressed, our cortisol levels are up, epinephrine and norepinephrine are up, and these hormones cause our blood pressure to go up. The other thing that happens with cortisol is it actually reduces our ability to make nitric oxide, and this is important also to help expand our blood vessels. So when our cortisol levels are up, we are not producing that nitric oxide. The other thing is, when cortisol levels are elevated, that's when you have the cravings for the sugars and the sweets. So that's why we need to bring those cortisol levels down. Now, the fifth thing that you can do to bring down your blood pressure is getting good sleep. And we're talking about 7 to 9 hours if possible. When you're sleeping, naturally your body's getting rid of toxins and regenerating. And toxins actually cause inflammation. Just like I mentioned, inflammation causes your blood pressure to go up too. The other thing that happens is, when you don't get good quality sleep, the next day your cortisol levels are elevated. And like I mentioned, when your cortisol levels are elevated is when you have those cravings for those sweets and those sugars that will cause your insulin and inflammation to go up. So getting good quality sleep. Now, the sixth thing that you could do to naturally bring down your blood pressure is reducing or eliminating alcohol. Now I know, but alcohol is pretty bad in many ways, but it's really hard to bring down your blood pressure if you're consuming alcohol in excess or even a little bit. Everyone's different, but that's the other thing that causes blood pressure to go up. So you heard the 6 things that you can do naturally to bring down your blood pressure. Now, the statement that I told you I was going to make. I've been doing a lot more reading and research about the medications that we commonly prescribe for high blood pressure, and they can deplete our body of important nutrients and minerals that actually allow our body to control our blood pressure or maintain homeostasis. So it's logical to think that if we take a medication for blood pressure, we may be depleting our body of important nutrients that help us stabilize our normal blood pressure. So that means that we may have to take more and more medications. And I don't want you guys to fall into the well of prescription medications because it's kind of hard to get out of there. So when you go to your medical provider, doctor, and your blood pressure is elevated and they want to start you immediately on a blood pressure medication, try these 6 things first to get your blood pressure down normal, and maybe you won't have to be taking these prescription medications. So I hope you like the information. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and we'll see you soon.